The
Yay!
music
Here
was
we
kind
are.
of
Here we
skipping the
are.
beat tonight, messing with us.
Yay!
Hey, what's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We are
Yay!
here again.
Happy
I am
Tuesday.
Keya McClain, the poet, and that
Shimeka on off the
is.
dark campus.
Hey, 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 hey. We in this thing. We in this thing. So I'm gonna send out some invites to some people, and we're gonna get this thing started. Let's get
Let's
it
get this
started in
started.
here.
Hey, let's
Let's
get it
get it
started.
started in here. You know we're gonna do a whole concert. Y'all know
Right.
how it does. You know how it does.
Yes.
So tonight's topic. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about a support system after a breakup. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So,
Yes.
what do you guys think
So very, very,
about
very important.
having a support system after a breakup? And you said something profound when we talked about this being the topic. Um, and do you remember what you said earlier about, you
I'm gonna
know,
say because you got to know before the breakup who your friends are. Because
yeah,
sometimes people get into relationships and they forget their friends,
I'm
and
on
I've been
live.
that person.
I'm on
I've been that person.
live. Yeah. So let's break that part down just a little bit. You
Just
know,
just a little bit.
I'll let you start on that one, and then I'll kind of kick in on that.
Which one? The one where you're putting your friends aside when you start dating?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one. Where that's not okay. Like that's not okay because we was just and then I feel like it goes to what we were saying too previously about decentering men. It's like because we
Mm-hmm.
put all this focus into this relationship or this person and we forget ourselves. Part of losing, like leaving your friends, like not talking to your friends, is part of leaving yourself and losing you. And
Mm-hmm.
so um
Say that again. Say that again.
yeah,
That was a nugget.
part of not talking to your friends is part of losing yourself when you putting all your energy and all your efforts towards this relationship because you want to hold on. I just want to keep them, just want to keep them instead
Mm-hmm.
of okay, let's put balance is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Balance. So I spend time with you, but I got friends. I'm gonna spend time with them.
Yeah.
And
That's
and
good.
yeah, and if that's an issue, that's the conversation. Oh, was that a bubble? Oh, did you see the bubble?
I didn't see it.
It's over. It was under you. I saw it though. It's hidden. I
What?
gotta,
I ain't see no bubble.
cause you know,
Let
let
me
me
let
see.
me look at my other screen. Let me
Like you
put
know,
my
I'll be
other
like, it
screen
be
over here
sending
so
like
I can
little
see.
bubbles.
Ain't nobody
There it is. Oh,
told me
it's like
nothing.
right this right there.
I don't see it.
Sorry,
But
focus.
no, 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 no. That was a good nugget to share. Like, and I want y'all to like really sit with that because so many people do that. And I was sharing with Shimeka earlier. Hey Don. I was sharing with Shimeka about a girlfriend that I had for on and off for 20, 25 years. She would be in and out of our friendship.
Mm.
And she was like that with everybody. It wasn't just me. She was like that also with her family. She would just disappear. Every time she got into a
Mm.
relationship, she would just melt into the person
Into
that
the
she
person,
was with.
yeah,
She would just melt she would be absorbed inside of them, into them.
yeah,
And that's not healthy, right? And then when you go through something traumatic in that relationship, like a breakup,
right.
like you finding out that he got other kids, or like you finding out, he on crack, those types of things. Then you want to call me.
Not a whole
So,
crack situation.
and these are just some scenarios of some things that did
Crack
actually
epidemic.
happen. I didn't just make that up. Like
I figured that.
those are some things that actually happened and caused her to come back to me and be my friend again. Those are the types of instances. Everyone I just mentioned are things that brought her back to talking to me again until I
That's
finally said, yeah, I don't want to be used for that purpose, right? Um,
Yeah. And that says a
I
lot about her choices. How did you not know?
yeah, like I'll be a good friend to you when you break up. I'm here for that.
But I want to be
But
your friend while you're in the
don't
relationship.
keep breaking up the friendship and
And
then
kind of
coming
get
back
right.
because of the breakup.
Yeah.
Like only your friend because of the breakup,
Right.
but you forgot that I was your friend when you got with him,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's that healthy balance, having that healthy balance. And then what was the other one that you said? You got to have the right friends.
Yes.
Um,
You gotta have make sure you got the healthy you choosing. But shit, sorry, but shoot, she wasn't choosing healthier relationships.
yeah. I mean, I feel like she had good friends, but she sabotaged all of her good friendships
Mm,
because she would get so enthralled and entangled in these relationships that she just dismissed her friends. So
mm.
you have to think about it, like when you get to a place where you actually need someone, no one is there because you threw
You just
them
pushed them to the
away.
side. Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
can't throw people away and then expect for them to be there for you through that process. So
And
yeah, it
sometimes,
doesn't.
it's interesting too.
Hey,
Sometimes people
Doobie.
like loud. Sometimes people like trauma and drama.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe sometimes the friendships, if they're healthy, they're like me. I want something. I want some trauma. I want some drama.
Yeah, yeah. You just made me think about something else by
Hmm.
saying that. It's unrelated to this topic, but that was a nugget that I have to kind of sit with about a whole nother scenario. But yeah, you're
People
right.
liking
Like,
trauma and drama.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
some people
think,
we're addicted to it. And
mm-hmm,
so sometimes we jump into situations because we need that.
yeah,
We need that. And I've been there. I've been there and I'd be like, wait, what's going on? Hold on, Shimeka, hold on. You
mm-hmm,
know? And so, but having, back on topic, having good friends though.
yeah.
Having good friends they'll tell you, like, hold on, you know.
And I have this saying, and I use this saying with my son, but I say this about the people that are in my inner circle as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all of the people in my inner circle, I have, a safe space for them to
Mm-hmm.
land. You
Mm-hmm.
know, this is something I say to my son all the time. I am a safe space for you to land,
Yes.
right? I am that for my friends. My
Mm-hmm.
friends are that for me.
Yes.
And not even necessarily just my friends, my people, because you're my people.
Mm-hmm.
I made that post yesterday. My cousin's my emotional support
I know.
person.
I was like, I am.
Like,
I'm like, cause you're
seriously.
mine. But it's like it's mutual, it's reciprocated, right?
Hmm.
It's like I don't
Yeah.
feel like I'm constantly giving, or I'm pulling. And I've been in situations where I've been the giver, and I've been the puller. And
Hmm.
so I like that it's a balance.
Yeah.
It's reciprocal, and so um, just identifying that in friendships.
Hmm.
Identifying, like, again, you're not being depleted, but
Right.
you're also getting your cup filled too.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. What about, like, does it matter the type of breakup that it is in terms of how we support that friend? Like, do you think that we support people differently based on what happened? Or do you think we just support them? Like, for instance, I'll give some examples. Like, let's say your friend is in a very bad breakup and there was domestic abuse, or your friend had a breakup and they found out their person was cheating. Would you handle them differently because of the differences in what happened in the breakups? Or do you just still just maintain, the same attitude, the same ways? Would you still do the same things based, like, does the type of breakup matter is, I guess, what I'm really trying to
I
ask.
don't think it matters, because even in domestic violence, you're still it still hurt. Like you still had this connection with this person, even though it wasn't healthy. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna celebrate that you got away and that you're
Mm-hmm.
safe, but I'm also be aware that you are still hurting. You are still hurting because
Mm-hmm.
you were in that in a you cared about that person, you know. So I'm be
Yeah.
sensitive to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still
I
be
think
sensitive
that's
to that.
good because I was talking to someone the other day and they were telling me how they share they were sharing a breakup with another friend, and that friend was just like, you need to get over it and you need to move on. And so sometimes we also have to identify who to share certain things with,
And
right?
that's it right there.
That because
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say that just because you don't know how to support me, you may not necessarily be a friend. That may be a personality thing, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
also have to be careful about that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I know people have shared with me sometimes that I can be harsh,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's not my intent at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always try to extend grace and I try to do things in love. I don't consider myself harsh. I consider myself direct.
Mm-hmm.
But it could appear harsh to someone who is not used to that type of approach, maybe. But I'm just direct and to the point because I'm like, so I don't like to, because it's hard for me to articulate myself trying to go around things and
You
figure
like
out.
listen.
I like that's
I'm glad
hard
that
for
he's
me.
gone.
I don't know how to like formulate sentences like that. So I just go straight to it. Like, you know what? I am sorry that you're in pain. and, and I hate that. And so what do you want to do? Do you want to come
Right.
over here and have wine? Or do you want to get out in the streets? Or like, what do you want to do? Like, what can I do to like, so I ask a lot of questions. I'm like, what can I do that will make you feel better in this situation? Do you want me to just sit here quiet? I can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want my feedback in this situation? Because my feedback, again, is going to be direct and to the point. Hey,
Yeah.
what do you want to do? Because, you know,
Yeah, because I know you be like, and then if y'all friends for real, you'd be like, I know you didn't like him, so I knew you didn't like him.
yeah, like I'm just going to keep it 100. So it's just going to be like, oh, okay. All right. But I do ask questions like, you can vouch for that because I would
I
be
was about to
like,
say, yeah,
well,
I'm like,
why? Well,
yeah.
why is that? You
Mm-hmm.
know, like,
Right.
well, why do you want to do
Let
that?
me ask you some questions because I'd be like, oh shit, she gonna make me look in the mirror. God, don't
You
make me
know,
look in the mirror.
and I only do that. Now, look, I think I do that more so if it's a breakup that is not the final breakup.
Mm.
Right. So if we're talking about the person like 3 or 4 times, then I'm starting to ask questions then.
Right.
Right. But but in the beginning, I'm like, that in the beginning, I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all because this is date affirm the real. In the beginning, I'd be like, his lost shit. Oh well, like seriously, I just try to crack jokes and be funny and
Right.
try to figure out what they need from me
Mm-hmm.
so that I can provide whatever that is that they need,
Right. Right.
because, at some point you're going to have different personalities of people too.
Mm-hmm.
One
But
friend is going to
knowing that
cry with you,
exactly. Yeah.
right? One friend is
Knowing.
actually going
Mm-hmm.
to shed tears with you, going to
Mm-hmm.
cry, hug you, hold you. Oh, baby,
Right. Right. Right.
I have a friend, Kelly. And if I was crying, Kelly would be boo-hooing and she would be falling out and snotting and all of that. Okay. That's Kelly. That's her personality. If
Right. Right.
I said, Kelly, I just need to get out and turn up, she is going to be the turn up queen. We're going to do all the things, right?
Right.
So
Right.
you got to know your people. You got to know your people. I know
Right.
there's only 2 people, maybe 3, I'm going to call when I'm in that type of space because I
Mm-hmm.
know everybody's going to give me something different. You and my
Right.
2 besties, I'm going to get something different from each of you.
Right.
And so but I know I'm going to get something very, very real and, poignant to the point like me
Mm-hmm.
from one person.
Right.
I'm going to get something like funny. I'm gonna be laughing and all of this shit with you, and maybe crying a little bit too,
Right, right.
But it's just knowing your audience and who's going to do what or be what for you in that moment. But you have to have those types of friendships established.
Right.
You have to have people that will support you through those breakups or through
Right.
those hard moments, because that's important to have. Because if you don't have that, what are some things that can happen when you're going through a breakup and you don't have that tribe of people?
Shoot. You come out feeling worse than you did when you.
The first thing that came to my mind was you end up going back to that situation. He get four flat tires. Really? We don't do none of that over here.
At all.
We don't do none of that over here.
Friend.
Yeah,
that's
we
how
don't do.
Know which friend is which.
Exactly.
You get that friend.
Get
and
that
I'm not
friend.
saying nothing bad with it. Just know your, like you said, know your audience.
Know your people.
Friends. This one is the one that's go establish tires. This the one that go cuss them out and beat them up if we see them. This,
Just know your peoples. Yeah, because
I'm not going.
That's not the energy. No, look, Keya and Shimeka ain't flattening nobody's tires. We gonna be like this.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Wish you well. Wish you well, darling.
Yeah.
But again, I don't see anything wrong with it if that's your people and that's what y'all like to do. Like, I'm not judging anybody on that.
Right.
However,
exactly. You might need
we
to
don't do
it.
it.
You might need to have that ride or die.
Yeah.
I do this thing called circle of friendship, and it's like if you I talked about this before. Like it's like a target, right? So think about a target, and you got the inner circle, you got the circle outside of there, you got the circle outside of there, and you got another circle, right? So the inner circle is that little bitty circle in the center is the one where that's the close friends, the ones you feel safe.
Yeah.
Aw. But you're the type of friend you need to talk me down. So the circle of friends is the smaller one is the one where because it's little because only two, at least two can fit in there, at most two, because one or two fit in that little circle, and that's the friends you feel like you can confide in, that you feel safe with, the ones you can be vulnerable with, and it's reciprocated, right? And then the one outside of that little circle are the friends that you're like, okay, I'm cool with them. I talk to them. We hang, we laugh, kiki-kiing. I might not be vulnerable. I might not share everything about myself with them.
Yeah.
That's just not where we are, right?
Right.
And so that's the ones outside the little circle. And the bigger circle is like, okay, I see them at work. Those are my colleagues.
Acquaintances.
Yes. Hello, guys. Hi. I see you guys at work. And we might go get some drinks, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how, I have to know and identify where they belong, where your friends belong.
And that's important when you want to share things, right? I want to address Don's comment. He said, I need friends that are down like 4 flat tires. Yeah, I want you to be down like that. Down like we just not going to flatten.
Slice, yes, 4 for 5, yes. So yeah.
Now, I don't flatten tires, but I do whoop some ass from time to time, if that's needed. And I try not to go there no more. I'm too old. But I will. Yeah. It's certain people you can't mess with. I will throw hands.
I didn't know that until I went to St. Louis that year. And I was like, oh, shit. She gonna have me, God dog, she gonna have me fighting people out here in St. Louis. Like, I was like, fuck. Because I'm not gonna back down. I'm gonna be like, it is what it is. Right? Like, I might not start it, but I'm like, it is what it is. This is just what we gotta do. Like,
yeah, and write poems about you. Boy, I write a poem about people quick. Boy, I'm petty. I am petty. Now that I will admit to that. I am petty. And I'll hit you where it hurt with words, boy. I will go there. I'll write a whole poem about your ass. And you be like, Did she just say that about me in a poem?
Tongue like fire. tongue like fire
Look,
and a sword. Like, don't
fire,
play.
fire, fire. That pen be on fire, boy. Don't do it.
Man.
But it is a good thing to know you have people that are, the ride or die people that just ride it out with you. They are strongly supporting you, but they're also keeping you safe,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm not going to, even though I was just joking and I'm like, yeah, I whoop some ass. I'm joking, but I'm for real too, though. Okay. But no, seriously, I think it's important to have people that love you to that degree, but also pull you off the ledge. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, okay, no, Keya, that might not be the best thing to do. That might get you in trouble. That's gonna lead you, a couple of years ago, I think it was year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I had an incident where I had got ticked off about something. And I called my people, and my people are like, what? And I'm telling them, like, I'm about to go in. Okay. Like, this is the last time that I was this level of pissed. And everybody's like, well, Keya, you remember your job and your career. You don't want to ruin that now, do you? Right? People trying to talk me off the ledge. So you do have to have people who are level headed as well.
I remember one time, I don't think I was level headed for you because you was like, I cussed them out. I was like, okay, they might have needed it. Like, and they was just like, you're healed. I was like, healing don't mean, you remember that? She was like, well, cousin.
I think that was the incident that I'm talking about. Like, I think
like,
that
they might have needed it. They was then on top of their stuff. And
yeah,
now they
yeah, you were like, oh well. And then, but I had one friend that she gets as mad as I do. She a Taurus like me too. So she says, friend, you can't, but you will go to jail.
but friend.
She's like, but you will go to jail. And when she said it so soft like that, I was like, she's really worried. Let me not go to jail. It's not that serious. Right. But again, it's just about having people that support you who also know you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to support you through the thing. But when you're in a breakup, you are probably at the lowest space, right? You're hurt, you're confused, you feel betrayed, you feel like you can't get over this. How many times have you been in a breakup and you're like, oh my God, I just can't get over this breakup and this is the most horrible.
I'm gonna call him a couple more times though.
Yeah. And then you heal and then you'd be like, what was I thinking? What was I going through? What was I going through?
What in the world?
But in that moment, there's that small window of gratitude that you get to have. You get to appreciate your people who were present for you during that time. Yeah. You get to appreciate the people who understood it. Now, for men, I wonder for the men that are on the live, because I think men's support system as it relates to breakups may look differently because men are not as they're not as vulnerable as we can be.
Yeah.
When we're going through that, we'll cry in front of our girlfriends and our cousins and our sisters. We'll cry. Men don't always open up space for that vulnerability.
Right.
So how does that affect men when they're breaking up and what their support system looks like? So I'm curious to know from the men what that looks like for you all. Because for us, again, you've heard us talk about it. Like, we kind of get ride or die. We be ready to beat men and all of this kind of stuff. But like, what do you guys experience with breakups and having a support system? Do you tend to talk to other men about it? Do you try to play it off and act like you happy and you good?
Dancing. We talking ish and cussing folks out. Like, F her. She wasn't good for you. No way, man. It's too many fish in the sea. Y'all don't say fish in the sea, but y'all
right
too many out here.
Right. That's exactly what they say.
Look at that one over there. You got one right there. You got one over
That's exactly what they say, cousin.
there.
You don't need to be tripping on
You
her.
don't
It's
need to
all
be.
we finna go to the
You single.
club.
You finally single.
Turn up, turn up.
Right. And then they be hurting inside like,
Right. Be all
but
bruised and
they can't.
battered on the
But they
inside.
right. But they can't express it.
They go home and then curl up.
That was good,
We
Marcus.
internalize and try to have sex with other women. Ooh,
That was good,
yeah.
Mark.
But seriously, we try to stand tall and talk to our friends and get it off our chest. So I want to deal with Marcus's comment here. Ooh, babe, that's good. First of all, thank you for your honesty and transparency with that, babe. Thank you,
Yeah.
because that is true, and I think that's something that is that's a conversation, because this is the phenomenon that I've been hearing, in terms of, women, when women go through these things, they tend to do the healing work
Mm-hmm.
from a breakup. And they have a circle of women around them that they can do that with. Not all the time, because some of them get bitter and angry, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where the tires get. No. But there are a lot of women that say, well, let me heal from this. Let me do the inner work. Maybe there's something that I'm doing that I need to work on. And there are a lot of men that say, the only way I'm going to get over this breakup is by getting with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
But you haven't processed your pain.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't processed the feelings and the emotions that
Mm-hmm.
came from that breakup. And in turn, you'll end up with someone else that you're sleeping with. Then you'll end up in a situationship. Then
Mm-hmm.
it'll just kind of, a relationship will just kind of happen.
Right.
And you're not really suited for each other,
Right.
So Don said, we men try to sleep our way through the rough times until we find another one. Yeah. Yeah. And we don't always heal, then damage another woman emotionally. Yeah.
Mm.
That's why I wanted to ask you guys that
That's
question, because
good. Goodness.
I'm glad you guys are sharing
Yay,
that. Oh my
guys.
God, that's so good.
That was good.
That's so good. I want to sit with that for a minute, because you guys are
Yeah, we
really,
don't always heal. Then we damage another woman emotionally.
yeah, golly,
Sleep our way through the rough times until we find another one.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
what would it look like? What would it look like? What would it look like if you do the healing? Like, what would that look like? And how would and how would you support somebody to get them
Mhm.
to that place of heal of paying
Mhm.
of identifying that they need to heal as a man? How would you
Yes.
bring that up?
I was going to ask that same question. I love it. Come on, babe.
All
Go on,
right, so
Marcus.
all right, first of all, because of this platform, I have learned differently.
Wait, say
Um,
that again.
because of this platform, I
Okay.
kind of look at things a lot differently.
Okay.
So my last breakup, yeah, I did a little healing and kind of reflecting, but now because of Dar, anybody I see, any man I see who goes through a breakup, I express to him the importance of not just going jumping in and jumping on top of some other woman.
Hmm.
You have I let them know they have to process this, and understand, because oftentimes we go jump on top of another woman. That's the wrong word. That sounds violent. When we go have sex with another woman, we're putting our baggage on them they don't deserve.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're trying to have something special, we can't give it to them. And now what happens is when they're um we decide no, we can't give it to you, and they put all they heart into something, and now we once again they men ain't shit.
Hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
at that point in time, yeah, that man wasn't shit. But
Hmm.
now it reflects on the whole gender
Yeah.
Hmm.
to that woman's eyes.
And you
Yeah.
and you know what women tend to do too, because we tend to be nurturers and want to heal, right? And want to help and want to nurture. So when we
Mm-hmm.
see a man that is so, and what we'll tend to do is lean towards that broken man, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
want to heal him and want to nurture him and want to prove how good of a woman we are. when they're
Mm-hmm.
not in the space to be able to receive that.
Yeah.
And it's nothing wrong with that, women. Like, that's okay. It's who we are. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It just means they weren't ready for that. That wasn't what they were ready for, right? They still needed that healing. And so it doesn't mean that they're an issue either. It doesn't mean that they're an issue either, right? It
Yeah.
just means that they weren't in a place to receive whatever you were willing to give.
Yeah.
You know. And Don says, he was, because I was saying what would it look like, and he says it looks healthy, and we become better versions of ourselves if you guys did the healing. And then he
Mm-hmm.
said, what about the times you're going through a breakup and a woman recognizes that, and then the night ends up together without the man asking for it? When you're going through a breakup and a woman recognizes that, and then the night ends up together without the man asking for it.
So basically,
Like, if
the
they sleep together, even
yeah.
though the man didn't ask for it. Sometimes y'all don't. Sometimes it's sometimes I don't know if this is okay. I'm going to say something. Sometimes there is healing in that space, right? Sometimes that sexual healing, right? Sometimes that is the case, even when you're not even looking for it. Sometimes it's like, okay, I needed this for right now. You know, if both of you guys were in a healthy space to understand
Really,
that. She
babe.
took advantage of it. It was her, huh?
I can't with you.
And that could be it too. Like, no lie, no lie, no lie.
And
For
if she
real.
took advantage of him, he liked it.
He's
Let's
like,
be
thank you.
clear.
He's like, thank you.
Let's be clear. He liked it. He enjoyed
He
it.
liked it. Yes.
But go ahead. I want to hear about
He
this.
didn't
She
take
did.
advantage of him, but he didn't say no either. But
Yeah.
sometimes, like,
Go ahead, because I know where you're going with this. Come on with it. Just
because
come on with it. Don't hold
okay,
back.
you know, like Marvin Gaye's like, when I get that feeling, I won't. Because sometimes because I don't want it to be like, oh, I was just here. Okay, I'm just gonna say it.
Thank you.
Sometimes when you're having intercourse, sometimes in that sex, there is some healing that takes place, you know? And
There's
so,
a release.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean that this person is for you. It doesn't mean that this is the one, whatever that means, whatever
Mm-hmm.
that means. Um, and he said, yeah, I like that Marvin Gaye reference. But sometimes, like, seriously, like, you feel like, okay, because
Come on with it.
I have recognized in myself at times that when I'm intimate with somebody, I know that it's not to be in the relationship with that person. Sometimes in that space, it's both of us needing that nurturing. It's both of us needing that nurturing in that moment. And it
And
doesn't
there's not an
mean,
emotional, there's not an
yeah,
emotional thing that is there.
right. And
Yeah.
it's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Don said a passing ship in the
Ship in the
waters.
waters. They're out there. That's all poetic and passing ship in the waters.
Just like a poet.
Right. These two passing ships. You know, sometimes it's, yeah, I mean, separate sexual satisfaction, separating the physical from the feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be, again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a sexual it in that moment of connection, there's sometimes a healing that takes place, not just a sexual satisfaction. I feel like like, have you ever experienced the moment when you're with somebody intimately, you know it's not going anywhere else, but in that moment you're like, thank you, I
Yeah.
really needed that. And it
Yeah.
had nothing to do with the orgasm, had nothing to do with that, but it was just something that I needed this in this space.
No, like, that's why I kept saying, just say it, because I knew where you were going with that. Because so this happened to me where I had just had a breakup, and the person that I was with had just had a breakup. And I said to him, I was like, this is just for our healing. Like, this moment is just for our healing, right? Now, it takes such maturity Let's be very
Yes.
clear about that part.
Let's be very clear.
It takes such maturity to be in that headspace to understand that. Because a lot of times people will go from that to, but I feel so.
I feel like connected.
Nope. Let's be very clear. That's not what that is. I was aware of that before it even happened. I was like, this is just an exchange. Not, and it wasn't like, oh, we just gonna have this moment and that's it. It's something that does add to my healing.
Yes,
it adds to my healing.
It's a difference. You can feel. You can feel the difference.
Yeah,
with a mature person that is able to understand that. Don said a hug and embrace, deep, intimate conversation on an intellectual level. It reminds me of Waiting to Exhale. Remember that time she met, what was his name? Dang. I do agree, sex is not always the end game, right? It's just I need this intimacy right now in this moment. And intimacy doesn't necessarily mean intercourse.
Yeah.
All the time. But if it does, it's just
because they just laid in the bed together. They slept in that bed together all night. And waiting to exhale. They didn't have any sex, but he needed the intimacy after his wife died, and she needed the intimacy after that rough divorce. So, like, again, sometimes that's just the moment. Yeah. That, and again, it took two mature people. They were two mature people, right? That had that connection, like what Don said about the intimate conversation on an intellectual level. If you remember the conversation they shared at the bar. And then they turned around and got to the room and they had more conversation until they fell asleep in each other's arms. So yeah, I think the healing can even be provided by the opposite sex. Right. You know, the support can happen from the opposite sex. That's an important thing that I don't even think we thought about when we talked about this previously. Right. Is, you know, that is something that everyone won't agree with, and that's okay. Because as we often say, you know, eat the fish and throw the bones away. If it's not applicable, if you don't agree, that is perfectly fine. Right. We don't always have to land on the same box. You know, it's okay. I was that person one time. I was 21 years old and didn't realize it. You was what person, babe? The person that was like, here, I'm going to be intimate with you and I'm going to heal. Or what person?
And I was going to also, while he's typing that up, I was also going to say too, as a woman too, we can take advantage of a man, right? And so sometimes you, as a woman, also being able to identify, okay, I want to be in a relationship. And so while he's in a vulnerable space, I'm going to try to do this. Like knowing, like not doing that or not being in a space to do that either, you know, but.
Babe, close your ears. You got them closed? Do like this. I took advantage of a couple of men. a few. Just a couple, babe. Not a whole lot. And it was a long
like this.
Long time ago. It was a long time ago. It's long time ago.
That was before the healing.
I wasn't even in Dallas, babe. It was a long time ago.
It was before the healing. Because the thing is that here's the thing. How powerful are we, though, as women, to be able to provide something for a man with no expectation in that moment, right? Like I'm okay, so I'm like, the hesitation is because I'm like, is everybody on that same page, right? Like they're like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
My best friend and brother, he's on Instagram side. He laughing because he done heard these stories.
I'm like, women got all the power. We do, like, for real, we do.
Yeah, we do. We possess it all.
That is so true. I think the power of the pussy.
Yeah. I mean, babe said he was the support intermittent person. She had a bad breakup and I spent the night with her. We did not have sex. Oh,
So beautiful.
my sugar.
That's why I love you so much.
My sugar.
I just love that you in
I
our
was the
family.
support. Oh, okay. I read that already. And Don
Yeah,
just said LOL.
right. The power,
Yeah.
but and it's not, and it's not the power of. Okay, yes, it is, but not. No, it's not. But it's not. It's
It
like
kind of is
it
and it
kind of
kind of
is,
ain't.
but it's not. Right. It's who we are. Right. Once we are in a space of loving us, being vulnerable with ourselves, and loving who we are, there's this energy we project, right? Of this as a woman, the sensualness, and
Mm-hmm.
whenever we need to be masculine, that shows up too. Like there's no limitations to us,
Yeah.
right? And so we're in that space of our wholeness and healing and that nurturing and knowing the difference, knowing what's needed in that moment and what's not needed, like the wisdom to know that, like
Yeah. Because it's the intuitiveness that we lean into that calls us to certain things and strengthens us in certain things.
mhm,
So we know, like, this is why when I say this and people are like, oh, and I don't even think this is just a women's thing, right? I say everybody
right,
has intuition. Everybody.
yes,
I think we lean into our intuition a lot more than men do. That part is true, but we all have intuition. But when I am deeply leaning in to that and I am very, very secure and confident about it,
mm-hmm.
it is absolutely nothing that I can't control.
Powerful, like you're in
I
a
can control a
powerful,
lot of things
yes,
because of that. And
yes,
so,
the
yeah,
space in
women,
your, you can control the space, the space where you are with that person, the
hmm
room that you're in with that, like you can, it's so much you can control. But that's the
yeah.
same thing for men too. I think men, but sometimes men use their intuition for evil. For evil,
Whoa, now you ain't lying there. You
because
might be on to
they
something.
will find
Th-
a woman that's
They'll find a
insecure.
broken one. They'll find a broken one in a minute, boy. They will
I
find a
watch them like
broken down.
I watch them.
They got the radar. Oh my goodness, they got the radar. That
So
is so
you,
true. I
yeah,
never
so
thought
they
about it
have
that
intuition
way.
too.
Where we do, that's why I said we all have it.
Yeah,
But they feel when a woman is weak and when she's insecure and when she struggles with certain things, and they like to hone in on those things
mm-hmm.
to get what they want out of those situations. So
Yes,
yeah, that's a
but
very,
and we
very
can
true
too,
thing.
and we can do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it just is what it is. Okay, man.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. What was that? Jack? He said.
that's my brother.
He said, "Shit, not me, not you. What?"
Shamika said, "Shit, not me. What?
Yeah.
What?
What does
What
that
you talking
mean?
about?"
Not you. What does that mean?
And okay, and let me pause here because I want to say thanks, babe, for jumping in and sharing that with us.
Mhm.
You kind of made us kind of switch the topic a little bit because
Mm,
we kind of went there. Um, but I'm so glad that we got the men
mhm,
really having and sharing with us in this conversation, the givers
mhm,
versus takers. Yeah.
mhm.
I'm glad that you guys were open enough and transparent enough to kind of share your thoughts about what breakups look like for you guys and how
Right,
you
right.
process those breakups. Um, and I think that you begin to start to support each other differently as you
Mhm,
know that that's a thing, right?
mhm.
Because I think before it may have just not been a thing to
Right,
consider.
right.
Oh, how do I need to support my brother in a breakup?
Mhm,
You ain't thought about that before because it wasn't a thing to think about because traditionally, right? Things
mhm.
have been done a certain way. You
Right.
guys go to barbershops, you have certain conversations about breakups, and personal story, and I will not name this person at all, but a male friend of mine had a breakup some years back. And so I went to visit, and he was literally about to break down.
Hmm.
He was, because he's one of those very, very, he has to tell you he's an alpha male. He has to tell you that he's this type of guy. But when I tell you, I saw that man almost crumble and fall. It was interesting, and I said he doesn't have anyone that he feels that he can share this with, any male, because it was
you've
almost like when
created
he
this.
saw me, he just couldn't wait. He knew I know I can do this with
You're
Keya.
safe. You're
Oh,
safe. You're safe.
oh,
You're
I'm
safe to do
safe.
this. Mm-hmm.
I am a safe person. And so, and my male friends know this, my female friends know this, that I'm a safe person. I'm going to hold space for you. Like I said,
Yes.
I will be
Yeah.
a soft landing space for you. I'm not going to judge you, and I'm not going to go and tell your business.
Right.
Right. But it was just, and I only brought that up because that is how I've seen how some men process those breakups, where they'll share it with their female counterparts, friends,
Because
whoever,
they're able to
sister,
be in a
cousin.
little vulnerable space in the
But
moment.
that means that they're not creating that for other men,
Mm-hmm.
so that those men will create that type of space for
Right.
them. And maybe that's something for the men to kind of consider and talk about. We have, this Sunday, I'm having a sister circle for women. We have outlets, we have ways that we connect as women.
Mm-hmm.
I have at least a weekly or a bi-weekly conversation with my cousin, with my bestie. So I'm constantly being able
Yes.
and I journal, right? So I'm constantly releasing and dumping. I'm not walking around holding this stuff, right? Men already have a
Holding.
lot that they're dealing with and going through, right? And men, in all fairness, we understand and recognize that you guys carry a huge weight on your
Yeah.
shoulders.
Yeah.
We recognize that. However, some of that can be alleviated by you. By you not taking on everything, and by you creating a support system
For your,
around you
right.
that you feel comfortable with, that you can release that stuff, because that sits dormant in our bodies, and it creates illness and ailments and all kinds of other things. It causes anger, it causes resentment. And so you have to also have that. I have release moments where sometimes I just cry.
Right. Right. Yep.
Sometimes I just cry
Yeah.
because I got to get it out. I got to let it out. I can't just hold that stuff. And I'm comfortable with doing that, and so give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to be vulnerable with yourself first by journaling, and then being vulnerable with other men that you feel you can trust and will hold that type of space for you.
Yes. And the song that was in my head when you said "with your permission," give yourself permission. With your permission. That's the only part I know.
Ro James. Tart, Shimeka asked you a question a long time ago, and we ain't got an answer yet.
Oh, did he? Oh,
Don't make me text you directly, bruh.
hilarious. I was gonna say too, because me and my late friend Cleo had this conversation about masculine and feminine energy, and that's who sings the song. Your permission. Um, can I get a green? Okay, focus.
Stay focused, cousin.
Focus.
Come back. Come back.
Okay.
Come back.
Right. We was having a conversation about masculine and feminine energy, right? And I was like, what's interesting is I feel like this is my observation. This is not like I read a study or nothing like that. But in my observation, the people that are most I'm alpha male or I'm this female, like they're the most unhealthy. They're the most unhealthy people that I've met because it's this expectation to be all of one thing, and that's all I need to be, and the idea of what that means, right? So if I'm supposed to just be all feminine, I'm supposed to be like, oh, I can't.
The damsel in distress
Yeah,
constantly.
that idea.
Yeah.
Yes, that concept of right. And so when I'm taking care of business, like you too manly, you too masculine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what if there's a balance in me? What if there's a balance in you? And how much healthier can a man be if they have a balance? And I'm not asking you to be snotting and stuff all the time, because I don't even like women that snot all the time. And you be like, stop crying. What you crying for? Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that vulnerability does not mean I'm in tears and I'm just shedding myself. That does
Yeah.
not, it does not what that means. It's being in a space of saying, right now, I'm hurting.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean like I am hurting right now and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You can say it just like that. I am hurting, brother. I know you the one I can come to. I'm hurting right now. What you got for me?
Yeah.
Right? And so it's not about like you're not gonna do it like us, right? We go do it a different way. Y'all go do it a different way. But it's creating, just giving yourself that space and those and creating those friendships. Again, it might be one or two people you can go to
Mm-hmm.
that you can be in a space of vulnerability where you can say, I'm hurting. This hurts.
Yeah.
You know? And so finding that for yourself is healthy. What if that helps you live longer? What if that helps you
Mm-hmm.
live longer? You probably, I wonder how long he was there holding that in until you came in to be able to be that for him. Like how long you are hurting and you can't share it. Like that's the
Yeah.
worst feeling, because then you feel alone,
Mm-hmm.
isolated. Who wants to feel that? And how unhealthy is that?
Mm-hmm.
For the sake of looking like an alpha male
Hmm.
that the colonizers created anyway, because our anyway, I'm going
Yeah.
to
No, but in all truth, literally trying to hold on to titles um doesn't allow you to be the layered person that you are. We are all
right.
layered. We are
Yes.
all walking around being
Yes.
lasagna. Okay? Let's be clear. Okay? I'm
Right.
lasagna around this thing.
Got many layers.
I am
Mozzarella
lasagna.
cheese.
Okay? And I like a nice thick lasagna, and that is who
Right.
I am. I am a
Right.
nice thick
Yes.
layered lasagna. You don't truly know, and you won't truly know people fully like that. And I like it that way.
Yeah.
I like that my inner circle kind of knows,
Mm-hmm.
okay, she the thick lasagna. She got 8
Mm-hmm.
layers, right? And
Mm-hmm.
my very inner circle have met all 8 layers of her. They
Mm-hmm.
know all of her.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other people who know, like, okay, there just might be a couple of layers to her,
Mm-hmm.
but allow people to be the layers that they are. I'm not
Right.
all of anything,
Right.
and the number one thing that always has, and it still happens to me now, but not as often as when I first started telling people that I was on this healing journey,
Mm-hmm.
is that people would, and you mentioned it earlier, people would always say, you I can't believe how you talk, or I can't believe how you just did that and you're healing. Huh?
Again, they
You're
put
not
you in a box. You rack in the box. You can't even be
I'm
healing.
not
You
all
got to
of
be in a
that.
box even to heal.
I'm not all of that. And then I need you to understand what healing means before you say that to me. Because I don't understand healing to mean sunshine, blooming things all the
Lollipops,
time. No,
sunshine,
healing is
lollipops.
honesty first of all things. Let's be
Right,
clear.
right,
Healing is honesty.
right.
And my honesty may not feel good. It may not sound good,
And
right?
and I
It may
might need
not
to
be
hear that.
advantageous for you.
And I might need to hear that. That's what doesn't feel good. Because shit not gonna be always feeling good. When you
Hmm.
gotta hear the truth, that shit don't feel good all the time.
Yeah. Oh, now you want to answer our question, huh?
Not
He said,
Wesley.
not me regarding Wesley's character.
Sit down, Tart. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. You want to cuddle? Stop it. You want to
Tart,
cuddle without
you
sex?
know
Cut
what?
it out.
I ain't dealing with you.
Cuddles
I'm
is
just not.
okay.
He said 8+ layers. Dang, bro.
I was gonna say I had it was this
Don't
it
ever
just
put your sister out there like that.
right. Just telling all you sharing all your secrets. I had this client that was like, she felt hurt because she had caught somebody anyway, and they kind of snapped at her, and so she was like, my feelings was hurt, but it's interesting, like if you're in a space of again, it's this space of, just not take, like, sometimes we don't need to take everything personal, because sometimes it's not even about us. Sometimes it's that space that somebody just needed, like, oh, okay, they're okay, well, I'm gonna give them their breath, and I'm gonna come back, because, and it was somebody they were close to. So I was like, so, it's not always where I got to have this deep conversation because you said something that hurt my feelings. Because sometimes that's, sometimes it wasn't personal, and we don't have to have a deep conversation about it, right? We just move on, and unless like it was something that was like, wait, what the fuck, but that's not what the fuck. Like, you might snap, that's not what the fuck. That's just, okay, she's okay, let me just get it, let me do it. What did she say? Okay, let me go get it. Like, just knowing the difference. But see, you have to be secure in yourself to be able to do that.
Yep.
I remember my mother used to tell me, she said, I'd be like, they didn't even wave at me when I said hi, or they didn't smile back. She said, that's not your issue, that's theirs. Let's not make everybody's issue our own.
Yep.
Sometimes people just need that, but like, okay.
Yeah, that was a late lesson for me too. And yeah, I actually had a petty moment like that last week where I had not a petty moment like that. I had a petty moment because I was walking in the neighborhood, and I spoke to this guy, and he didn't speak back. And so I said, I walked by and I was like, good morning. And he was like, nothing, right? And then I was like, or not.
Fine.
No. So I only say that because it's funny, because after I said it, I was like, now that was so unnecessary, kid. That was so unnecessary.
You had to laugh at yourself like,
that's so unnecessary. But that's the part about the layers to me, right?
Yeah.
Because depending on what space I'm in, yeah, I may go back to some old things that I used to do, or revisit some old ways, or some new present petty ways. I don't know. It just it may look differently.
And then you laugh at yourself, but then you
just laugh at yourself, right?
Dang.
Yeah, you just laugh at yourself and you keep it moving. And I don't hold myself to a standard of this thing that people try to call perfection. I don't hold myself to that standard. Right. And I know myself so well, there's nothing nobody else can say about me that will break me. Because I know me, right? So it's like, they might say, oh, you're this. Well, and sometimes they're wrong. That's their perception, and it's not true. And
interesting point of view.
Yeah, I don't receive it, and I just keep it moving. But when you have, again, going back to our original thing, because we got off track a little bit. But before we close out, I want to go back to the original thing, and that is having the support system that truly understands you, that truly supports you, that's truly there to help you through that season of life. And we're all going to have those low moments and seasons of life of a breakup, of not being in a relationship that we may have thought was going to be that relationship for us. And that's okay. But make sure, because this is where it costs us sometimes, and how we hold on to the resentment and the anger, is we don't have the right support system in place. And then we become angry, we become bitter. Think about the women who only hang out with all other single women who are bitter and bruised and angry. If you go to them for support, what do you think the difference in support is going to look like from them?
Right.
For the men, if all you're hanging out with is men who bitter call women bees and hoes and tricks,
like the black women ain't shit. You be like,
if that's the people that you're constantly around, you can't have a safe space to release your feelings honestly with them, because they're going to call you soft. They're going to call you weak. They're going to call you pussy whipped, all because you feel emotion. So be careful about like who you're engaging with and having conversations with and calling friends. Because if you can't be authentically who you are, that is the major problem for me. Like, if I can't be authentic to who I am with people, that is a red flag for me.
Yeah.
I don't hang with people that I can't be authentically who I am.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you judge everything I do. You got something to say about me doing this or me doing that. You're not my friend. You won't make it to that friend zone because I need to be able to be authentically who I am. And I'm very layered. We're all very layered. And you can come outside and be fake and phony and only show people this one layer.
If that's what
When you
want.
go home and you showing the people at home 17 other layers.
Man.
It's very freeing. It's very
Yeah.
freeing to be able to just honor who you are.
Yes.
Be who you are. And the people that are supposed to be your people, you will attract, especially when you become authentic. You'll attract the right people
Yes.
to be a support system for you, whether you're going through a breakup, a divorce, or anything in between.
Yes.
So we're going to close there because dang, that hour went by fast.
With your permission.
We have to say, this is Keya McClain, the poet, and Shimeka Arnold, the Dart therapist. This is the last live from us in 2024 because we're going to be taking the holiday break. Don and Marcus come back next Wednesday. It's their final live, and we won't see you guys again until 2025. So here's the acts for 2024. This is how we're going to close out our 2024 live.
Okay.
We are going to ask you all to please, we don't want a Christmas card. We don't need a Christmas carol, but we are asking you out. Well, you can send Shimeka a personal Christmas carol to her inbox, please.
Thank you.
And she really does want it. She's not kidding.
It'd be so cool.
But our ask is that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, that you share the YouTube channel. In 2025, we're trying to take this podcast to another level. We want to have guests on. We want you guys to continue to send us topic ideas before we get into the 2025 season. If there are episodes that you've missed, we're going to also ask that you go out to YouTube and watch them. Hit the like button, comment, share it. And again, make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you're not a YouTuber, that's fine. Go to Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Date Affirm the Real on all platforms. And we're very much looking forward to all of the exciting things we want to do in 2025. I want to say thank you to my co-host and my amazing cousin, Shimeka. We have had an amazing and beautiful run in 2024.
Yes.
And
I was consistent.
You were so consistent. Okay. We're not going to talk about the history of things and how I just kept pushing my cousin like, no, you got to do this with me. And it's been amazing since she joined. It's been amazing.
Yes. But she was trying to give me, in all fairness, she was trying to get me to do it by myself. She was bugging. I
was trying to get her to do it by herself. However, as we continue to do it together, our chemistry, all of this was just been so amazing. I'm like, we got to keep doing it this way.
Yes.
And then Don was an added co-host with Marcus, and absolutely, like I remember watching their first show together, and I was like, babe, you guys got great chemistry.
Yeah.
He has to be a permanent.
Love it.
And so I'm excited about what we will do. And I want to just thank you, cousin. I want to thank Don. I know he's not on live with us, but I want to thank you both because you guys have been very committed. You know, Don does notes for the shows all the time. He keeps Marcus focused a lot of times too and pulls him back. But no, like we have a great team, you know, me, my husband, and you and Don, you guys, like the four of us, we killing it. We had our first live, and today is actually Marcus and I 1 month anniversary. So 1 month ago, we did this. 1 month ago, we did this. So thank you all so much. We're going to close this thing out as we always do. I know I took a couple of more minutes at the end, but with it being our last live together in 2024, had to take an extra couple of minutes. So again, don't forget, go out and subscribe to YouTube. Go out and follow the Instagram. Share it with your friends and family. We need to have a certain amount of followers also on TikTok before we can start going live on there. So we're on TikTok as well, but TikTok's going to be shutting down as far as I know right now. So, Shimeka, close us out of this thing.
Let's take a deep breath. Remember, on count to 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. We thank you and we appreciate this year that you have given us. Thank you guys for watching and supporting and communicating and talking with us. And we just thank you and we appreciate you so much. And may all of life come to us with ease and joy and glory. What else is possible? And what else is possible for this new year? What else is possible for this next moment? What else is possible for this election? How does it get any better than this?
How does it get any better than this? Yes. Beautiful. Namaste. So, thank you guys again for tuning in. We will see you guys in 2025. Do not forget about us. Again, send us your thoughts about topics that we can share in 2025. If you want to be a guest, if you know someone that can be a guest, refer them our way. We really want to take the podcast to another level. We celebrated 3 years kind of silently. Last month was our 3 years in existence. And so a lot of you guys have been hanging with us for the full 3 years. So that's what's up.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Yay.
Till next time. Peace.
Bye, guys.